Dennis Rodman was one of the most unpredictable, eccentric and controversial players in NBA history. The wild hair, the tattoos, the off-the-court antics, he was a walking headline. But what if I told you that beneath all the chaos was one of the most meticulous, scientific and strategic minds the game has ever seen? Rodman wasn't just a great rebounder, he was the greatest rebounder of all time. And he didn't do it through brute strength or sheer height, he did it by mastering the science of rebounding. Today we're going to break down exactly how Dennis Rodman became the best rebounder the NBA has ever seen, using angles, physics and an obsessive level of detail that few players have ever matched.
Again, Rodman, rebound Rodman.
Career high 34 rebounds, 18 of them at the offensive end.
His dresses doesn't bother me. His hair doesn't bother me. Sure, I mean, he's going to go wacko every now and then. We've come to live with that. We've come to accept that. But you can't find another player on the basketball court that works just as hard as Dennis Rodman. Gives 110%, dives at loose balls, even if he can't get them. That's Dennis Rodman.
Let's start with the facts. Rodman led the NBA in rebounding for 7 straight seasons. Now that can't be a fluke. In his best rebounding season, he grabbed an absurd 18.7 rebounds per game. For context, the highest rebounds per game in the NBA today is around 14.5 give or take, and that's for 7-foot centers. Rodman did this at just 6'7", giving up size and weight to nearly every big man he faced. But it wasn't just the volume of rebounds, it was how he got them. He consistently out-rebounded guys who were bigger, stronger, and more athletic than him. So how did he do it? This is where things get crazy. Unlike most players who relied on instinct, Rodman actually studied rebounding like a science. According to Phil Jackson, Rodman had an uncanny ability to predict where the ball would land based on how it was shot. Jackson once said, and I quote, "He knows distances and he knows shots, but what's truly amazing is that he's got tipping angles that are surprising." Rodman himself admitted that he used to sit on the sidelines and watch how different players shot the ball. He studied their arc, spin and release point to determine where the ball would bounce. Now let's stop and think about this for a second. While most players warmed up with jump shots, Rodman was doing math in his head, calculating the trajectory of the ball like a physicist. Beyond the science, Rodman was also a master at positioning. He had a knack for knowing exactly where the ball would be before it even left the shooter's hands.
I just practiced a lot about the angle of the ball and the trajectory of it. You got a Larry Bird, it's going to spin. You got a Magic, and maybe spin. When Michael shoot over here, I position myself right there. Now I hit the rim, it's boom, click and go back this way. Boom, here, click and go that way. Boom, that way. Click here and go like this way. So basically, I just started learning how to put myself in a position to get the ball.
This is next level thinking. Most guys react to the rebound after the shot goes up. Rodman was proactive. He was already in the perfect spot before the shot even missed. This also ties into one of his biggest advantages, which was his relentlessness. Rodman never gave up on the ball. While other players might make one attempt at a rebound and then give up, Rodman fought through every box out, lunged for every loose ball, and used his ability to track rebounds all over the court. That's why even centers started to give up playing against him. He just wanted it more. When Rodman joined the Bulls in 1995, a lot of people questioned whether he would fit with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. He was unpredictable, he was controversial, and well, he was Dennis Rodman. But here's the thing, Chicago actually needed him. The Bulls had plenty of scoring between Jordan and Pippen. What they didn't have was rebounding and interior defense. And Rodman filled that gap perfectly. In the 1995-96 season, his first year in Chicago, he averaged 14.9 rebounds per game and anchored the entire defense. The Bulls went on to win 72 games, at the time the most in NBA history. Rodman was the perfect piece of the puzzle. He didn't need to score, he didn't need the ball in his hands, he just needed to get the ball as a rebounder and be an elite interior defender. and that's what made him so valuable. One of the biggest misconceptions about Dennis Rodman is that he didn't take basketball seriously. And look, I get it. The guy was constantly making headlines for partying, dating celebrities, and disappearing to Vegas in the middle of the season. But here's the reality. Rodman took rebounding more seriously than almost anyone took any part of the game. The fact that he had this level of discipline and preparation while also being the most unpredictable guy off the court is what makes him so fascinating. He might have partied all night, but when it came to play, he was absolutely locked in. And you don't lead the league in rebounding 7 straight years by accident. This brings us to a bigger discussion: is rebounding a lost art in today's modern NBA? In today's game, we see more three-pointers, way more spacing, and way fewer players who focus solely on rebounding. In the 90s, teams valued guys like Rodman, who specialized in defense and rebounding. Today, a guy like him might be expected to stretch the floor and shoot threes, or might not even see the floor at all. But here's the thing, every championship team still needs a great rebounder. Even in the modern game, we see players like Nikola Jokic and Domantas Sabonis, Kevon Looney, Clint Capella, and guys like Steven Adams making huge impacts just by controlling the boards. So while the game has changed, the importance of rebounding really hasn't. At the end of the day, Dennis Rodman's rebounding wasn't just about talent, it was about obsession. He studied every shot, he outworked everyone, he figured out angles that no one else saw. And despite all the distractions, all the off-the-court drama, and all the chaos that followed him, when the game started, no one rebounded like Dennis Rodman. So, was he the greatest rebounder of all time in your opinion? In mine, he absolutely was. And the best part, he did it all standing at 6'7", proving that rebounding isn't about size, it's about heart, intelligence, and relentless effort. Now, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about Rodman's rebounding? What do you think about his career? And do you think he is the undisputed greatest rebounder of all time? Or could his style of rebounding still work in today's NBA? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep this conversation going. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more in-depth NBA analysis, and make sure to hit that notification bell for when we drop a new video every other day. My name is Damian Peters, this is Basketball Network. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next time.